Hey there, movie lovers. Welcome back to Nutshell Recapped, your ultimate destination for all things cinema. In today's video, we're diving deep into the captivating world of movies and recapping some of the most iconic films of all time. It is shown at the start of the movie, parasites, a mysterious type of alien, are making their way to the city from the sea. Then, a sleeping man is in his room. One of the parasites crawls into his ear. Despite feeling irritated, the man goes back to sleep to calm himself. Shinichi, a young boy, appears on the scene. He is listening to music at night, wearing headphones. The parasite tries to enter his ear, but it is unable to. Shinichi feels an itching sensation and assumes it's an insect when it moves to his nose. He tries to throw it away but ends up crushing it as he tries to pick it up. Then, the parasite comes out on his hand skin after cutting it. His mother also arrives at the same time. He exclaims, "Look! My hand has become infected." His hand has no trouble when his mother checks it. The next morning, it is shown that Shinichi feels some irritation in his hand when he is at the dining table. Then, a man is shown whose ear was infested. He stands in front of his wife. He opens his monstrous mouth, which was too horrific, and he engulfs his wife's face through his monstrous mouth. This was happening due to that parasite. Shinichi comes on the scene and meets his friend on the way to school. She observes his mysterious actions. When he reaches school, something unusual is happening to him. His right hand gains much strength. Coming back to his house, he tries to bruise his hand, but his hand mysteriously defends itself while stopping him. Then, it is shown that his hand has transformed into a parasite, and it is communicating with Shinichi. Further, it is shown that it not only reads Shinichi's books but also uses his laptop because it is interested in human beings' ways of living. Shinichi had stopped it from going further when it tried to enter his body, so it had only infected his right hand and was handling this hand. It declares its name as Mijai and requests, "Never cut me off. I will not harm you because you are my entertainer." It is now apparent that Shinichi and Mijai are developing a friendship bond. But all the people infected by parasites are creating havoc throughout the city. They are satisfying their appetite by killing human beings. On the contrary, Mijai drags Shinichi to a hotel where many parasites are eating the flesh of human beings. They misunderstand Shinichi as being infected and offer him flesh. However, they proceed to decapitate him despite the fact that he is still human and not totally contaminated. But Mijai defends Shinichi by attacking them because it could also die with the death of Shinichi. It acted in its self-interest. News is broadcasted that natives are being killed, and no one is able to know about the killer because parasites are carrying it out tactfully and covertly. Shinichi says to Mijai, "Why don't you restrict your fellow parasites from eating human beings?" Mijai replies, "You also eat vegetables and other types of animals. In the same way, our food is human beings. So what is wrong with it?" Mijai senses the presence of another parasite near them while going to school. It tells Shinichi that there is another parasite near him, which turns out to be his teacher. Upon witnessing Shinichi, the teacher knows that he is infected, but she says that there is no need to be afraid of her because she doesn't want to harm human beings. Rather, she is learning about human beings' ways of life so their attributes may always remain in her. She leads him to two more parasites, including a police officer and a student. She says, "This police officer is my spouse, and we are expecting a baby. That baby will be a human being, and we also want to lead our lives like humans. We will not harm anyone in public because it is unharmful. But we want to eat in private. Will you be a part of our group?" But Mijai disagrees. The next day, the same police officer comes to them, and Mijai reveals to Shinichi, "He has come to kill us." Because he had detected that we ended a parasite in a hotel that day. Meanwhile, the police officer attacks him. Mijai and Shinichi fight with him, and eventually, Shinichi kills him. Coming into the house, Shinichi feels guilty as he has taken a life. Contrarily, it is shown that the parasite moves to another human's body, coming out from the police officer's body. It was not anyone else but Shinichi's mother. And she was proceeding towards Shinichi to kill him. Mijai exposes to Shinichi, "She intends to kill you." Shinichi says to it, "Be careful. If you say something about my mother." Because he had a cordial association with his mother. He never wanted to lose her. At first sight, his mother's face also transforms into the parasite like other parasites, and she attacks Shinichi. He is nearly to die because of his loss of blood. The next morning, it is shown that he has restored himself. Mijai tells him, "You were badly injured, but I cured your wound with my cells." But the threatening thing was that Mijai's cells had transferred into Shinichi. He was completely infected. Now Shinichi begins to search for his mother, but he finds her nowhere. Then he asks about the police officer, going to the teacher. But the teacher does not reveal anything either. Mijai tells him, "I will have to sleep for 4 hours a day. During that time, you will have to fight alone because I will not protect you." Having Mijai's cells, the attributes of Mijai start to appear. Now it is seen that a student had transformed into a parasite, the same student who was shown by the teacher. He takes admission to Shinichi's school and pretends to be his friend. With the passage of time, the reality is exposed to everyone as he is a parasite. The student then murders everybody and proceeds to kill Shinichi's buddy. But Shinichi jumps off the building, taking his friend with him. That teacher arrives, who wanted the death of that student because her secret may be revealed by him. She explodes a bomb there but remains safe. The police arrive, but the student also kills them. Mijai tells Shinichi, the student is on the roof of the building. Shinichi goes to another building's roof and kills him while shooting an arrow. Then he returns to the teacher and asks for the address of the police officer who was a parasite. The teacher tells him the location. The parasite of that police officer was still in his mother, but it is Mijai's rest time, which means Shinichi has to fight alone here. Somehow, he cuts the throat of that parasite to end it. His mother and the police officer are ended later. Then Shinichi is shown visiting the hospital to meet his friend. He is uttering, "I will kill all parasites one by one." Then it is shown that someone is taking their photos, and he was a spy. The movie, Part 1, is completed here. Now, Part 2 of this movie will be explained. Now, a few months after that incident, are shown in Part 2 when military officers become aware that there are parasites in the city attacking humans, and they want to rescue them. They release a serial killer from prison who can detect parasites among human beings. The serial killer calls everyone human beings but becomes thoughtful when Shinichi appears before him. After great deliberation, he says that Shinichi is also human. Returning to the house, Mijai tells Shinichi that there is a parasite a little distance away from them. They visit a nearby building where a parasite is eating the flesh of a human being. Noticing Shinichi, that parasite moves towards him, but Mijai kills it. Suddenly, Shinichi senses someone behind him, who was the person taking photos of Mijai and Shinichi at the end of Part 1. Then the city mayor appears, speaking in favor of parasites. He is a devilish person, and the teacher is in cahoots with him. Now it is shown that the teacher has given birth to a baby who is a human being. The mayor knows that Shinichi is killing parasites and also wants to end him. But the teacher prohibits him. She says, "Mijai and Shinichi belong to one body. I want to see how they get together with each other. Killing Shinichi, our parasite Mijai will also be no more." So she had sent that spy after Shinichi to keep an eye on him. While walking one day, Shinichi again senses someone is behind him. That spy suggests, while spying, you should reveal yourself before the police. But Shinichi says, no, the police department is also full of many parasites. Shinichi comes to know here that the teacher has engaged the spy to pursue him. He says to the teacher, "What is being done by all of you? Why do you not cease it?" Then the teacher says to him, "Why are you killing our companion parasites? They are yet learning how to eat human beings. After some time, they will stop killing them." He keeps quiet and he reveals to the spy that the teacher is a very menacing parasite. Beware. She may also harm you. But the spy does not trust him. The next day, the spy meets the mayor to confirm whether Shinichi is speaking the truth or not. So he sets the audio tape in the mayor's room. Knowing about it, the mayor orders the assassination of the spy, saying he has become a threat to them. He sends a parasite to the spy's house to kill him. They kill his daughter because he is not at home. Mijai informs Shinichi that 5 parasites are coming to attack him. A man advances towards them. He was the amalgam of the 5 parasites. Mijai and Shinichi explode his head while fighting. They think he is dead, but only 1 parasite has been killed. The other 4 parasites are still alive. The rest of the parasites are alerted and start handling the situation. Then the teacher says to the mayor, "If I disallowed you to send parasites to end Shinichi and the spy, why did you do so?" Here the mayor notices that the teacher was developing human feelings after becoming a mother. He is disgusted by it and sends 3 parasites to kill the teacher. Being a parasite, she understands someone is coming to end her. Calling them to the car park, she fights them alone and ends them. Coming back to the house, she notices that her baby is missing. She finds a note there with a statement, "Come to the bridge for a meeting, and your baby is in my custody." Actually, the spy had left that note because he wanted to take revenge for his dead daughter by taking the life of the teacher's baby. The teacher moves there in confusion with Shinichi. Shinichi tells the spy, "You will gain nothing by killing this baby because this baby belongs to the human species." Military officers also arrive there. They knew that the mayor had concealed many parasites in his building. Now they were sending the building people out one by one, shooting the parasites among them when found. The serial killer was also present there. Then the mayor is shown delivering his speech. He is disgusted by it and he says, "Humans are the true monsters, annihilating parasites for no reason." At that moment, the military officers target him and end him. Then the serial killer shouts, he was a human being but was just helping parasites. Turning back, they find the man who had 5 parasites in him. Everyone shoots him, but he does not get harmed. Then it is shown that the spy is about to throw the baby. Witnessing this, the teacher has to transform into a parasite to save her baby. She thrusts her hand into the spy's body. As a result, everyone comes to know that she is a parasite. The police start firing on her continuously, and she knows that she will be no more. She hands her baby over to Shinichi. As she gives this responsibility to Shinichi, she immediately dies from receiving many gunshots. Here Shinichi is reminded of his own mother, and he develops human feelings. Now the police take Shinichi for interrogation, but they are reported that a man with 5 parasites has killed the military officers. Hence Shinichi drives to that place, but those parasites cause his accident, stopping him. He moves to the forest and says to Mijai, "He will detect me wherever I am until you are with me." He requests Mijai to separate from him. Meanwhile, that parasite arrives there and begins to attack him. Shinichi and Mijai have befriended each other now, so Mijai sacrifices himself, separating from Shinichi's body. It asks Shinichi to run away from there. Mijai is killed by that parasite. Feeling depressed about it, Shinichi moves to his friend's house. She takes care of him with all her heart. While lying down, he immediately notices that his arm is generating another part of Mijai. This happens because Mijai's essence is transferred into Shinichi's body when it cured him, so he can produce it if he wants to. Shinichi knows that the parasite will detect his location again now that it has regenerated, so he leaves for the sake of his friend's life, saying goodbye. As he goes outside, he is caught by that parasite. Reaching a mill, he stabs a chemical earthing rod into his body, but he remains safe. He says, "What are you thinking about me? I will kill other human beings after killing you, and the other parasites with me will dominate all over the world." The parasite is almost killing Shinichi when suddenly, Mijai regenerates his hand and attacks the parasite. Meanwhile, there is trouble in Shinichi's body, and he becomes irritated. Mijai tells him that the rod had multiple chemicals with which he struck the parasite. So all parasites don't want to take hold of his body. One by one, all parasites leave his body, and only the skeleton is left behind. Shinichi throws it into the fire, ending its life. After a long while, everything is shown to be routine. Mijai tells Shinichi that no parasites are left in this world, so they should not live together. Mijai decides to separate from Shinichi, despite his disagreement. Mijai himself removes the connection, and Shinichi's real hand reappears. Feeling sad, he begins to remember Mijai. Now it is shown that much time has passed. Shinichi and his friend are leading a happy life, and they often visit the teacher's baby. Suddenly, the serial killer returns. He captures Shinichi's friend and whispers in her ear, "The real monster is a human being." But Shinichi's friend tells him, "The real monster is you. You kill people." In response, the serial killer pushes her from the building. However, Shinichi quickly rushes there and rescues her, extending his hand. Here, he realizes that Mijai has helped him once again. The Movies Part 2 eventually ends here. Sharing is caring, so if you find this video helpful, entertaining, or just downright awesome, spread the love. Share it with your friends, family, and anyone you think might enjoy it.